Making Melee content is weird, especially for me. I've gone through many stages since starting my Melee career. I started in high school, 2011 to 2013, running a few tournaments in my mom's house. We had a few CRTs, but the final match was played on our 55-inch LCD so that everyone could watch. Needless to say, I've come a long way since then. In college, I started competing for real, starting literally days after the documentary was released, meeting with my soon-to-be best friend and training partner Chess. We'd go on to compete in tournaments all over upstate New York for a few years. During that time, I started to dabble in commentary, looking for my chance to hop on the mic at locals and regionals. In 2016, I started fiddling around with content and started writing a bunch of comedy sketches and other never-produced ideas. In 2017, I went on a road trip with Chess, documented the whole thing with the release date to be determined. That same year, I did a little streaming, some rap videos, a song, a couple sketches, but writing a lot more than I produced. One thing that never changed was my commitment to the game, and I think that I got pretty good. January 2019 was the start of the Wannabes, where Wasabi and I talk to each other about our journey as players and sometimes interview other people. It's not a comedy, it's honestly too honest, and it's been the most satisfying project I've done so far. I've learned a lot about the type of stuff I want to make and where Melee fits into my life. That's why I'm making this video, right now. This is my new project, The Road to Top 100. My goals for this project are, well, complicated. I'm going to divide them into 3 parts. 1. What value will this project bring to me, JD? 2. What value will it bring to you, the viewer? And 3. What are my realistic expectations for this project? Let me start with me, since there is no true altruism. I think it's fair to say that this is the most important point. What's in it for me? 3 things. Rule of 3s in this video. First, you might notice that this is on the Wannabes YouTube channel. That's because the project is in the same vein, the same pathos. Essentially, this would not exist if not for the Wannabes. In both projects lie the same premise, which is, if I do not enjoy this, then there's no point in doing it. Criticisms of capitalism aside, and I'll talk about this in part 3, you can't hide the fact that most content creators have some aspirations of making a living off of it. Especially in Melee, an esport that's mature in its player base but fledgling in its earnings, there's common belief that content is the only way to truly support a career. With that being said, what's the point if I don't enjoy it? The idea of making money on what you love is contingent on loving what you do. If I don't enjoy the series, I'm going to stop. If you're watching this video though, then it's likely that I've enjoyed it enough to produce it entirely and put it online. So we've answered the first question, at least for now. Second is, I want to get better at making videos. I want to make better videos, learn to tell a story, be more efficient at editing, work on my voiceover, and balance my time so I can actually finish this type of project on a weekly basis. Right now, I work a 9 to 6 job. Before work, I like to write and practice Melee. After work, I relax, eat dinner, watch TV. Saturdays and Sundays, though, are a complete wash. I'm terrible at weekends, so a little push from a project like this might improve that. I want to work harder toward my creative goals, and a weekly project is a great way to improve that. Third, process videos are cool, and this feels right. I like the idea of this project, enough so that it gnawed at me for a few weeks and got me into writing the script. It honestly seems easy to write a script, say it, then put the track over footage of me playing Melee. It seems nice to look back at this later and hear myself go over what I was thinking at the time, like a cringy snapshot of a wannabe gamer. Besides all the logic of improving my skills or enjoying what I do, sometimes you gotta go with your gut. My gut says this is a good idea. The second segment, what value this brings to you, the viewer. I clearly can't tell you what you'll get out of the series, but I have a few things in mind every week. I want you to get an honest depiction of what it's like to aim for the top 100 in Melee. If I do my best to say what I'm feeling, to take you through the motions, then I hope it will help other players with a similar goal. Maybe you don't play Melee and you're somehow watching this. I want any sort of gamer to get a glimpse of my journey and take a lesson to help them in their own. I also want to provide my own experience to young Melee players who just want to improve, whether or not they aspire to the top 100. It's difficult to actually understand the early stages of the Melee community, and having it be so top-heavy doesn't help. I want to show anyone who touches this game that you don't need to sacrifice everything to get good or even just gain fulfillment from Melee. I believe in my method and want to showcase its benefits to our whole community. Last, I want to provide a sense of community to other players who work full-time but still want to play Melee. I know it's hard to keep up with all the college students out there, and for those college students to truly transition into the working world while holding on to their passions. I struggle to hold all those plates too, and maybe we could all learn from each other and improve together. Oh man, why am I crying in the venue right now? The last part of this video is my expectations. I want to be as realistic as possible here. There's a really good chance this flops. I'm fine with that. I've had other flops before. Like I said up top, the most important part of this is what it does for me. All the other parts are just a perk. Of course I want people to watch. Why else would I post this on Reddit? Of course I'd like this to improve my brand, but the truth of the matter is, if no one watches this, that's fine. I need to reiterate that, mostly for myself. But I also think this has a small shot of being successful. I've been in the community since, well, the documentary, and I've seen a lot of content come and go. I haven't seen anything like this, coming from someone with enough skill to reasonably aim for top 100, yet not enough so that it still feels like a journey if it happens. Right in that sweet spot, baby. Only time will tell if this works out, so let's just leave it at that. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I'm still in the early stages of picking themes for each week, so drop a comment if you'd like for me to cover anything specific. Next week I'll be going over my plans for the year and strategy for actually accomplishing top 100. My name is JD, check out the Wannabes pod, and I'll see you next time.